मुल्के सुकुन की शाही तुमको रज़ा मुसल्लम, मुल्के सुकुन की शाही तुमको रज़ा मुसल्लम, मुल्के सुखन की शाही तुमको रज़ा मुसल्लम, जिस समत आ गए हो सिक्के बिठा दिए हैं, जिस समत आ गए हो सिक्के बिठा दिए हैं, उनकी महक ने दिल के गुलचे खिला दिए हैं, जिस राह चल दिए हैं कूचे बसा दिए हैं। Alhamdulillah, you heard an amazing discourse on the literary works of Sayyidi Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala by Qibla Mufti Sahib, who's serving senior lecture still at Jamiat al-Ashrafiyya, one of our senior most authorities in the Hanafi fiqh, not only in the UK but around the world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve them and may he long serve the deen and maslak of Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala. Also the author of many books, amongst which is the Sharh of Muwatta Imam Malik in Arabic. So a remarkable individual. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to benefit from Qibla Mufti Sahib and preserve him to further the work of Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahimahullah ta'ala. I had intended and I was asked to speak briefly about the hadaik, the poetry of Sayyidi Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala. And I'll just take a few minutes here to present a few verses to you before we move on to our next guest speaker. And it's very difficult, you know, to choose a particular kalam or even a particular couplet or verse from the works of Sayyidi Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala, because all of his poetry is rooted so deeply in the Quran and Sunnah. It brings forth the aqidah of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah so beautifully that it needs a great difficulty for someone to choose and select from within. And when you look at how he's promoted the love of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, just the sheer, you know, I often say that when reading the poetry of Sayyidi Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala, you see the poetic metaphors and the beauty of Mawlana rahimahullah ta'ala, and yet at the same time you see the sheer emotion, the raw emotion and love of Mawlana Abdul Rahman Jami rahimahullah ta'ala. And hence, in one of his beautiful naats and kalams, you know, he says something so heart-wrenching, so beautiful, that it perhaps, if I had to pick one verse of Sayyidi Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala to present in front of you, this is what it would be. And he talks about his love, his respect for Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam in such a manner that leaves the listener, the reader, completely astounded. It makes you think where we stand when we claim the love of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, where we actually stand, and how we can actually back up that love of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, that claim, with our actions, with how we behave, with how this love is manifest within us. And he says most eloquently and most beautifully, addressing the dogs of the city of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And he says that You were unable to take a piece of your heart to put in front of the dogs of Medina Munawwara. Is this how beloved your life is to you, O Raza? Is this how much you love your life?
क्या ही ज़ौक़ अफ़ज़ा शफ़ाअत है तुम्हारी वाह वाह, कर्ज़ लेती है गुनाह परहेज़गारी वाह वाह, पाराए दिल भी न निकला दिल से तोहफे में रज़ा, पाराए दिल भी न निकला दिल से तोहफे में रज़ा, पाराए दिल भी न निकला दिल से तोहफे में रज़ा। उन सगाने को से इतनी जान प्यारी वाह वाह, उन सगाने को से इतनी जान प्यारी वाह वाह।
And one other thing, one common theme that you will find amongst many of his kalams is our reliance and our dependency upon Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam for our salvation. It's a common theme. You see this amongst many of his kalams. And in light of a verse of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has indeed bestowed a great favor upon the believers by sending within them the great messenger Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And we ask ourselves, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is rahmatul lil alameen. He's a mercy for all the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why in particular does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specify the believers here for being bestowed a favor upon? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recounts that favor only upon the believers and nobody else, and no one else amongst his creation. And one of the reasons for that is because those who will benefit from the mercy of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, everyone and everything in the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relies upon the mercy of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. That's the true interpretation of that verse in this dunya. But after departing from this world, there are a number of gifts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which are received for a believer only and only through Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. When he enters the grave expanding, a window opening into Jannah, this is his gift from Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. When he awakens on the day of judgment, the Hawz-e Kawthar and the water, the sweet and cool water that he will have to drink, this is a gift of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. The fact that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be standing there on the day of judgment when our deeds will be weighed, this is a gift of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And the fact that he will be standing there and saying, Rabbi Sallim, as we cross the Pul Sirat, this is a gift of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. This is the gift through Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam which Allah has bestowed upon us, which no one other than the believers in Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam will share. And so, Sayyidi Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala, and I conclude my discussion with just a few more verses from one of his famous kalams. And this is something that he's authored hundreds of verses. This is where in verse he has defended the Aqidah of the Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. This is actually a whole book that is authored, hundreds of verses. Then in the Hadayat-e-Bakshish, the opening of that book, the opening few verses which he has written in praise of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam specifically have been published as Naat of Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala. And he actually talks about this dependency upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he says, regarding each and every step, starting from this world, he says, Sachi baat sikhate ye hain, seedhi raah chalate ye hain. While in this dunya, lakh balaएं करोड़ों दुश्मन कौन बचाए बचाते ये हैं. And then when we go into our graves, he says, मरकद में बंदों को थपक कर मीठी नींद सुलाते ये हैं. Get up from there and you arise on the day of judgment. Your dependency is still with Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And he says, rising on the day of judgment, that when the Quran describes this day as a day يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ, when mother and father will push away their children, they will refuse to recognize them. Sayyidi Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, माँ जब इकलौते को छोड़े आ कहकर बुलाते ये हैं. When going from there up to you have when tongues will be hanging out due to thirst, a thirst that no one has ever experienced before. He says, even there, your dependency is upon who? The Prophet ﷺ describes the Hawz-e Kawthar, and he describes the water so beautiful, so cool and sweet. And he says anyone who drinks from it will not experience thirst until he enters Jannah. It's not just about not experiencing thirst. This is also a glad tidings of entry into Jannah. And Alahazrat rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, Thanda, thanda, meetha, meetha, peete hum hain, pilate ye hain. Move on from there. And at the scales, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is there. He is our salvation. He is our savior. We rely upon him for our salvation. He says, apne bharam se hum halkon ka palla bhari banate ye hain. And then at the Sirat, perhaps the most difficult of all of these stages, he says, sallim sallim ki dharas se pul se par lagate ye hain. And he concludes by saying,
कह दो रज़ा से खुश हो खुश रह, कह दो रज़ा से खुश हो खुश रह, कह दे रज़ा से, कह दो खुश हो खुश रह, मुझदा रज़ा का सुनाते ये हैं, मुझदा रज़ा का सुनाते ये हैं, सच्ची बात सिखाते